course, it chops, as expected. You know, I don't even really do a downward chop test. I figure if a sword can't pass that, you know, it's not even functional as a sword. So I go right into the diagonal cuts, which, generally speaking, the downward are easier. But I've actually been finding myself having an easier time with this particular Dadao, coming up the underneath cuts, using the pattern from our Guandao form. Okay, this is the exact pattern found in the Pakmei Guandao form. Okay, we start from a cat stance with the weapon on our right side. We bring it up, advance left, chop, advance right. On this cut, I was getting really good results. Okay, and again, we're going from either side. We should be just above the hip, going up and out through the clavicle or collarbone. Okay, so anytime you see any weapon doing these big diagonal upward swings, that's the target, is from hip to clavicle, or rather just above the hip. That was my biggest surprise, was getting good results with those upward cuts. Okay, it's not very forgiving. Okay, as compared to my time with the LK Chin Dadao, it was a lot more forgiving on the, especially on the downward cuts. Depending on where I landed, you know, on my strike, I was having various levels of difficulty with downward diagonal strikes, especially coming from left to right. But that could be as much me as the sword. I mean, it obviously is me. It's just the sword is not very forgiving because of the amount of steel that has to pass through the target without any type of wavering. It's got to stay on the plane it's on. And, you know, some planes are harder than others. You know, cutting down something through the middle is pretty easy, generally speaking. Then with the diagonal, it gets a little bit harder. Then, in my experience, cutting in half this way is the most difficult, actually bisecting cuts. Now, on flesh, this isn't such a big issue because all you're trying to do is open up the stomach. Okay, you don't need to necessarily cut him in half. You don't have to bisect him. You just need the tip to catch, open his belly up, let the muscles in the back, which naturally will contract as soon as those abdominal muscles will cut, and guts will just shoot out. I mean, it's like a Hollywood thing, but it's real. All you need to do is open up the abdominal wall. Okay, those back muscles will automatically go into a immediate seizing, and it'll just, okay, that's pretty horrible stuff, and I don't want to linger on that, but you know, we can't disconnect that from what we're doing. I like the feel of this better. I feel like I have more control over it with a little bit longer handle. People ask me about the Z-Guard. This particular weapon, the Dadao, okay, this incarnation of it is the only weapon so far where I actually prefer the Z-Guard to the other more common double hole, smaller, very small, with 2 holes in it. I'll definitely put a picture example of that up, and also specs, by the way, for this sword. But of the two, in the long run, this is the one I'm glad I decided to follow through with and purchase. Okay, it's nice. It's got a nice weight to it. Like I said, we'll put up the specs. Okay, it's a good workout for the back and arms and leg, of course. And it's just a lot of fun to play around with that big geometry. So, thank you guys for watching this little project of mine of the last of the mats. And I hope everybody got what they wanted to see from the Hanwei Warlord Dadao. And thank you guys so much for helping me pass 1,000 subscribers. I can't tell you how much it means to me. I'm so appreciative. Thank you guys. All right. Well, it'll take a little while to put this one all together, as I want to add some history and context and stuff like that to this particular video, as Pak Mei Grandmaster of Chun Lai Chun actually played a role in the training of the big Saber corps of the 30s leading up to World War II. The founder of our system. Okay, he played a big role along with another Yin Bagua, another Chun Lai Chun, along with another Bagua teacher. Really stood out as an exemplary teachers who locally were able to teach these conscripts effective martial arts very fast, but they weren't flashy like you see in army and military form. It's very functional, very utilitarian, and that's how it's had to be. So I'll cut off my rant there as far as the history, but I'll dive into it deeper a little bit later in another section. Again, thank you guys so much for staying and watching the results, and I can't thank you enough. Appreciate you. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. We can't thank you enough. Hit that notification bell. We will check you out next time.